What's up, everyone, and welcome to Project XTalk, an Xbox podcast, episode 232. That's a palindrome presented
Ooh.
by Save the Game Media. I'm your host, Kevin, and on today's episode, we're talking all about Hellblade 2 going to PS5. Xbox Game Pass just got a brand new perk and so much more. If we get to that and more, got to introduce my co-host for the penultimate time. That means one more after this. All right,
Yep.
for those that don't understand how that works, penultimate, one more. JamPackSam, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. It's bittersweet to we talked behind the scenes, but yeah, I'm happy to be back for another show. We've talked. It's been a wild week for me personally, and we're making it through. We're here once again, but yeah, things are good, man. I'm here. I'm excited to be here for a couple of more weeks, and I mean, hey, we got a lot of news to talk about, and I'm sure next week isn't going to slow down. So that's a good thing to go out on.
Yeah, we do have a lot of news this week. Especially Xbox decided to drop some stuff that I was like, that seems like it could have been on a showcase, that you might have coming up in a few weeks. But they're blessing us with some news for your final two shows. Hopefully, we'll see what next week is in store. But for anyone that hasn't been made aware, either on our social media or in our Discord, Sam here is departing as a regular co-host of the show and Save the Game Media. And before anyone asks, no, nothing bad happened. All right.
I hate him so much.
Yeah. He's over there seething. He's like, that's what you only see one hand. He's got a stress ball. He's like, oh my God, it's Kevin.
Yeah, the other one's just clenched all the time.
He's that meme. No. So Sam, has some life stuff going on. Obviously, a very successful YouTube channel. So he needs
Yeah.
You saw yourself short there, buddy.
All right.
So he'll be stepping away. I will be having some guests on in the meantime until we figure out what's going on with the future of Project XTalk. And I will keep everyone up to date on that. But Sam, I don't have anything else to say. I've spoken publicly about this, but loved having you on. Best 2 years of the show, hands down. Take that, all my other co-hosts in the past. But yes, and obviously I'm gonna miss you, but you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, and I'd love to be back, if there are things that pop up, and I'm not going to be gone forever, but yeah, life has changed a lot in the past 2 years. I mean, whenever we first started doing this, I had literally just gotten engaged, and now here we are 2 years later of fiance is doing school. I'm professionally building careers, and then the YouTube channel's blown up in a huge way. But beyond that, I said it on Blue Sky, and I'll say it again here, but it's I couldn't have picked a better person to just talk stuff every week with. And the fact that I've been able to be a part of this has been really awesome. So the community is always amazing. It's great to have the sister/brother podcast of XCP that we joke back and forth with from time to time and stuff like that, where it's just been really, really great. So just thanks everybody for listening, and I appreciate that. That everybody stuck around, and we've had a lot of laughs and a whole lot of what's going on with Xbox, and then we did the FTC trial, and it's just been all over the place. So what a ride, so it's been very fun.
It's funny because I just saw the FTC trials officially. It's done. 2 years. Finally, we stopped talking about it forever ago, but now it's officially done. So kind of a nice closing. I think it came in right around there.
Yeah, I came in as it was happening, and now that I've been here for 2 years, we're closing it. Maybe I was doing it all along. You never know.
What is her name?
I'm Lena Khan.
Lena Khan. That's what I was like. You're Lena Khan. Damn. You were getting the inside scoop. You're like, let's see how the community feels while I go after them. But
yeah, I had to echo the words of the people. That's what I had to do.
No, obviously, always welcome back for guest spots or wherever you want to do. I'm sure I will reach out to you at some point in the future. But everyone, if you for some reason aren't, please go follow JamPackSam, JamPackSam.com, if you will. His YouTube channel, everything. Stay up to date with all of his latest amazing content that he puts out. So we're rocking for 2 more shows. So why don't we jump into it with some housekeeping? This is Project XTalk. We are live every Thursday right here on YouTube.com/Save the Game Media. If you can't catch us live, post every Friday morning on your favorite audio platform of choice. While you're over there, please drop us those reviews. It does help us in the algorithm. If you want to support us even further, get early audio access to Save the Game Media content and exclusive bonus shows, head over to patreon.com/Save the Game Media. Choose the tier that's right for you, like our current supporters. So thank you to Todd Oxtra, Alpaca Tom, Rick Davis, Silkenit, Lee Navarro, Dave Harp, David Hotright, Lillian, the Xbox Expansion Pass, Marcus O'Neill, Brendan Myers, aka the Winter Gamer, Nikolai at Night, Fabulous Brianna, and Brianna's mom. Thank you all for your support. We got a lot of news, but I gotta know, what have you been playing this last week, Sam?
So I went out of town over the weekend. I was gone from technically Wednesday night, we'll call it Thursday morning, all the way until we came back on Saturday night. Saw Breaking Benjamin in concert, where they have a potentially AI generated Halo 2 background playing in the middle of Blow Me
I I watched your video of it with you
holding up the Halo
the
2.
Halo
Yeah,
2.
you can't blow
Uh,
me away without a little Halo 2.
and I
So
also saw someone's snotty comment about you not immersing yourself into the concert experience, and I was like, can we not nitpick every aspect of life, people?
I mean, it sounds like he was just jealous he wasn't holding up Halo 2 in the middle of a Breaking Benjamin concert. But
Mhm.
all of that to say, number one, saw Breaking Benjamin, very sick. Number two, I played Expedition 33 on the cloud, which
Madman.
is that was something. And Backbone sent over their Backbone Pro, the new handheld controller. I've got it somewhere around here. It's in a case that they sent as well. And so I was using that for review, and it was a very interesting use case because I didn't have my internet at home. Like I've got
Mhm.
gigabit for the apartment, and then I went to this Airbnb in the middle of the mountains, and they were like 100 up, 50 down, maybe depending on like where you sit. Um, Worked really well. Like I had a
Great.
little, yeah, I had a little bit of lag depending on like what room I was in. So I just found like the good spot. But I started kind of plowing through that a little bit and then hopped back on it when I got home. And it was just a really good example of like, hey, this is basically like a Steam Deck, and I didn't have to bring the Steam Deck. Like I got my Xbox stuff, my cloud save was there. It was a beefy controller that I was using. And yeah, Expedition 33 is just great. I was telling Kevin before the show, my entire week in my head has just been the wow, 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 like the Binoco sound for the fighting. So yeah, really enjoying Expedition. I am rounding the corner on, I think, kind of closing that out. I'm getting ready to fight the Paintress. Been super busy lately.
Mm.
So I say rounding the corner, getting ready to fight the Paintress. Probably going into Act 3, and I've got a whole nother like
I was gonna say,
yeah,
you're a little confident there,
yeah,
buddy. I don't know
yeah,
about
whole
that.
nother like half of the game, I'm sure to go. But yeah, so I'm taking that as I can, biting along the way. And then I also didn't put this, but we'll talk about it in a minute. I've been playing some of the Antstream Arcade
Mm-hmm.
Xbox new edition into the Game Pass lineup. So that's what I've been up to. But cloud is very impressive. It's come a long way, even on arguably bad connections, and it just works. So I really enjoyed it.
So I'm glad to hear you jumping back into Expedition 33, and you're over halfway done. Like
Yes.
I'm not gonna spoil anything, but you are there. You are nearing closer than you probably think you are. It's not a
Yeah.
whole another half of the game. That said, I haven't seen many posts about the depression that this game is called. Like, where is it? You're not all in your feels. What's going on here?
I mean, I'm not all in the feels, but it is a very good story. I will say
Oh,
that. Like it's
man.
better than most things. But yeah, man, just Gustav's my favorite character, man. I hope nothing happens to him. I haven't gotten super deep into the game yet, but it's just you never know what'll, just yeah.
So you're not like me, where I've been falling asleep to people, the end of acts and like the emotional story beats. I'm sitting here watching
Yeah.
streamers just like play. I'm like, I need to feel something again.
Yeah, no, well, I just keep getting all of the TikToks of all the sounds where it's like all of the music throughout the game, and it's just like random people dancing to this ballerina style music, and then all these
Hmm.
different things. The parry jokes are what I typically get of the guy that's like getting faked out, where he's like all the parries in Expedition 33 and he's just
Yes.
faking people out. Yeah, that's what it is. So I've been to Silk and his point in the chat, the lag and the parry. There were some times where I was like trying to smash A, it was not smashing A, was not smashing A well at all. So yeah, it's kind of where we're at with it. But yeah, man, I'm really enjoying it.
Oh, I'm excited to hear your thoughts on the ending there. I've been playing quite a few games, so I'll start with the one that I'm not going to keep playing, and this is a game called Redemption Reapers. It was free through the Epic Game Store. That's your first hint.
Interesting.
Probably shouldn't have expected much, but this is it's a turn-based tactical RPG. Think Fire Emblem, moving along a grid, and the story absolute dog water, like horrible, horrible story. But I was like, okay, the tactics gameplay is decent enough. And then you start playing it more. And then suddenly there's just this crazy difficulty spike where the enemies are like one shot on you, you're doing almost no damage. And I'm like, are they expecting me to like grind a bunch? Because I ain't doing that. And this is like a 5 or a 6 out of 10 at best. And
Oh,
I ain't got the time to grind for those kind of games. So I promptly dropped that. Um, I will talk about the game that I have roll credits on and absolutely love, though, and that's Doom: The Dark Ages.
Ooh, it did not take long. I told you.
No, I did it in about 8 hours, I think was my playtime.
Right. Yeah.
And I will say, I don't think the story is very good. Like, even I said this and I was like, listen, is it better than some other Doom stories? For sure. But I'm sitting here, I was like, I still don't care about it. Like, I just want to be blasting demons more than watching this cutscene, is really what it comes down to at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think for me, like it's not something I'm going to look back on and be like, end of Red Dead, like just a very impactful thing. But it had more meaningful beats to where in 2 years, I'll be able to think back and be like, oh, yeah, that was the plot of Doom Eternal. You've got I'm not going to like spoil anything. Not that the spoilers really matter.
I don't think you could spoil Doom Eternal for me. I played the game. I don't remember.
Like you've got like key players there that I'm going to look back on and be like, evil man, slightly less evil man that's just going with everything that he said. And then you've got like King and Doom guy and then chick, and like that's your like I'll remember that more than like what was Doom Eternal. I don't know, acrobat smashing and ripping and tearing, like that was, I don't know what happened in Doom Eternal story wise. But Doom: The Dark Ages I feel like is a little bit better in that way, but I definitely agree, like it's not, I don't think it's meant to be carrying the experience by any stretch.
Yeah, I love the shield, the mechanics of zipping around the battlefield. Like when I heard people, I really don't think they did a good job marketing this game as stand and fight, and it's a slower Doom. I'm like, this is still way faster than 2016, and I'm like, and I'm really not standing all that much. Like I'm just constantly moving around, shield dashing. Like I felt like I'm like, okay, this is not Eternal fast, but this is pretty damn fast.
Yeah, I think block and parry would have been the better. That would have been instead of the stand and fight. No, I understand. Yeah, I think that the marketing is crush skulls as well in one specific way with one animation for each enemy. But I think for me, it's like the marketing has been interesting because they've done a lot of interesting, weird stuff. Like, I mean, I was lucky enough. I got the Doom: The Dark Ages keyboard. I can't really hold it up, but I have the, I have like, Corsair now got like, they have a whole bunch of brand collabs like that. So there's that. Then they got like random fabricator people to make a real shield. And then they got people to make armor and 3D print stuff. And they've done a really interesting marketing approach. I don't know that it has, I don't know if it's been as mainstream as I would like it to be, I think is where it's what I'm trying to articulate. I don't know, but I know we'll probably talk about the numbers along the way, I'm sure, in today's show potentially, but it's been interesting.
I didn't have it in there, but I mean, 3 million players is what they've hit, right? Like pretty good Game Pass. Like I know everyone was, oh, it's not really hitting like Fantasy Life, whatever, the girl who steals time is double its numbers on Steam. I'm like, it's a Game Pass game, guys. Like when are we going to learn that like, you can't use Steam charts for that?
But Kevin Asmongold talks about it, so it's got to be. I'm just trying. Everybody, clip it, tag him. I'm leaving. It's fine. No, but
roaches crawl all over him.
Yeah, so it's just stuff like that where I'm like, the 3 million is interesting. I like clearly it's like way getting more traction than Doom Eternal because Doom Eternal launched on Game Pass as well, if I remember correctly.
It would have 2020.
Yeah, because I remember playing Doom Eternal on Game Pass in the middle of COVID whenever it just launched.
Yeah, I played it on Game Pass.
I'm fairly sure that it launched into Game Pass. And so seeing it hit those numbers faster, I think that shows either the growth of Game Pass or the growth of Doom or the growth of gaming in general. But either way, I think it's a win in general for them.
Yeah, it was an awesome time. Absolutely loved the weapons in the one where you crush the skulls and shoot them in a
Ravager,
wide.
The wide one. You like the wide?
I like the wide one. I like the pulverizer
okay.
more than the single shot. And then the cycler was probably my other go-to one besides the rocket launcher.
Is that the pulse weapon?
Yeah, it's like the energy weapon. Yeah, which I really liked. But nothing was like, I used the mace as my melee weapon. Yeah, that was the most satisfying for me.
Yeah, the bludgeoning was too slow, but then also like the punching wasn't enough. So the mace is really nice. That's the one that I have the mace on the statue in the back. It's great. I love that.
But my favorite thing is like when you'd have a bunch of enemies and they throw the shield, and I had that upgrade where the shield went to other enemies, so it's just and I'm like, oh my god, so good.
Yeah, it's like Captain America over there where he's just dinging back and forth. It's great.
Yeah, absolutely love Doom: The Dark Ages. If you haven't played it, check it out. It's fantastic. I don't think, again, It's not my favorite of the trilogy. Like mine is very much Eternal, Dark Ages, then 2016, which I didn't really vibe with that much. But I see other people with different rankings, so it's all about your preference, right? Like your Doom
For
games.
sure.
And then the game I've been playing just a little bit because I just got a code for it today. Thank you to the developers that sent that. Or I think it's Strange Scaffolding is the developer. But I've been playing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tactical Takedown. This
Interesting.
is a Steam only game at the moment. And yeah, not only am I playing on my PC more these days, I'm not even using a controller for this game. I'm using mouse and keyboard.
Wow. Look at
Mouse and
this
keyboard boy.
guy.
It is a turn-based tactics game, so I don't get too impressed. Most of it is me sitting here with my mouse and like right clicking and then spinning the wheel to select a new move and right clicking again.
Yeah.
Occasionally I got to use the keyboard to move the camera, but yeah, don't I'm not gonna be playing first-person shooters with mouse and keyboard. But this is a TMNT game. There's no voice acting in the game, so it is it is all dialogue, and it is a lot of just music from TMNT, which the music's good. Nothing really sticking out to me at the moment. I'm very early. I'm still in chapter 1. I'm like 5 levels in. The game is good. It's not quite what I expected. Because at least at the moment, it feels, or at the moment, I'm only getting to use one turtle at a time per map. So it's like one turtle, and then you'll start off slow, and then you have to progress through these levels. Like the stage will fall apart, and you have to keep moving, and enemies will show up each time. You got to take them out. But there are certain levels where it's like they're overwhelming me. I'm like, there's like 20 dudes here. I'm one turtle. What do you expect me to do right now? So it feels a little, I don't know if unbalanced. I'm getting through them, but I wouldn't say it's like super easy. It's very challenging, especially for a tactics game. And I don't know if I'm missing something, but it's not quite what I expected. I was looking for 4 turtles and like using a bunch of moves, which every turtle does have their unique move set so far, which I do like. Donatello being my favorite, as always. But I'm interested to play more of it. I'm not gonna put a stamp on it or recommend either way at the moment. But maybe I'll do a live stream this week. I want to put more time into the game and really learn the mechanics. But I'm enjoying it so far.
Yeah, nice. I looking at it, did you ever play Volume by Bithell Games? The dude that
No,
made Thomas Was Alone. Yeah,
no.
it's kind of it kind of has that look to it. And I haven't played Volume in years, so I could be very off base. But super interesting gameplay style to use the TMNT.
Mhm.
Like I think TMNT and I think about like the side scrolling beat 'em ups that they've
Yep.
been putting out. I think there's one on Game Pass that just landed, if I remember correctly. I'm not sure.
That one's like a Persona light game where he has like social
Interesting.
elements. Yeah, you like because it's based off that the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Mutant movie that came out a
Mutants in
while ago.
Manhattan? Is that what it
Yeah,
was?
I
Or
saw
is
the
that the
Mutant Mania.
game?
Yeah, I don't know, but it has like that art style, which I don't personally like. But
Luke.
like, yeah, Luke. They're wearing like the turtles like wear clothes and like people just know they exist, so they like walk around and they'll have like social interactions with like humans and like
Interesting.
yeah, it's that one's a weird game. That one's by Outright Games, which I don't particularly rate them as a developer. A lot of shovelware IP
Mm.
style games, but I know that they just put out a Splintered Fate, which is basically Hades with a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle skin
I'm
on
into
it.
that. I'm into that.
Yeah, I'm trying to get my friends to play that one because it's 4-player co-op, and I'm
Mm.
like, this one looks good. Like, I'm not a big
Interesting.
roguelike Hades guy, but 4-player co-op with the turtles could be a fun time for. I think it's like $20 too.
I didn't have TMNT going Warhammer, but here we are. All right, cool. Let's go for it.
That's yeah. Anything can be Teenage Mutant. I can't wait for the turn-based the cover shooter.
Yeah, give me a Call of Duty clone, man. What are you talking about? Just give the turtles guns. What do you mean?
Don't they have guns in Call of Duty?
Oh, they do. I forgot they were in COD. That's right.
Yeah, which is funny because I didn't put it on the list, but I actually played Call of Duty this weekend.
Ooh, how was that?
I jumped into Warzone with
Oh
with
no.
some friends,
Oh no.
and I had a good time, to be honest. Like I didn't think it was too bad.
Interesting.
We obviously, I was like, I don't know how to play this game, so we did the training facility to start, and then we started playing some real matches, and we didn't win any of the real matches. We only won the training ones, but
Yeah.
like we made it to the final few teams, and most times in the real matches. People get, I don't know, people obviously have way more like time and experience with this, but like
Yeah.
when we got to the final like groups, I'm just like, I got no chance against you guys. I don't even know what you're wearing right now. You look ridiculous, like you're all shiny, and I'm sitting here like, I found this in a box.
Yeah, literally. Every time I've played Warzone, I want to say maybe I've played 10 rounds of Warzone since it launched. Like I have not gotten deeply into it. And because I just like the running and gunning and the routes of like old school Call of Duty. I've always had a good time playing it, but I will never win. Like I know it in my heart because I don't really roll with the squad. So it's like, I'll just drop into solos, and then you've got, Tim the Tapman viewer over here just absolutely crapping it on everyone. So, and then here I am, I'm like, all right, like you, I found a gun in a box. Neat. But it's a good time. I really enjoy Warzone when I do get back and play it from time to time.
Yeah. So probably, I don't know how much more Call of Duty I'll play if ever. I actually played that one through the cloud. Funny enough.
Are you?
I didn't.
Are you okay,
bro? I didn't want to download 300 something gigabytes.
Okay, that's valid. That's valid
for a game. I was like, I don't know how much I'm gonna play this, so I just streamed it instead.
How'd it work?
Flawlessly on my Xbox. I was like, this is great. Yeah.
All right, cool.
No issues here.
I mean, hey, if it works, it works.
But that's all I've been playing. So why don't we jump into the news for this week? Because we got quite a bit of it. Story number 1. Hellblade 2 is going to PS5. Yesterday, on the 1-year anniversary of the game's release, Ninja Theory announced Senua Saga Hellblade 2 is coming to PlayStation 5 this summer. Titled Senua Saga Hellblade 2 Enhanced, the studio has promised this version of the game will have new features and be available on both Xbox and PC as a free update. Tom Warren at The Verge also revealed that this game was under consideration last year for PS5, and along with Gears of War, which we know is now coming, he's also reporting Xbox is currently working on some ports for Nintendo Switch 2. Says, I expect we'll hear about those soon. So, Hellblade 2 is the next game going to PS5. Sam, how are we feeling?
I mean, this is one of those ones where it's like, speaking for myself, like you see a Gears, got to make a video on Gears, got to make a video on Forza. Hellblade, it was already, the first one was there. Like so this was just a matter of time. I don't have a lot to say about this one just because this is more just, like we know Death Stranding 2 is going to come to Xbox because Death Stranding 1 is on Xbox now. So it's just a matter of time before Death Stranding 2 eventually comes and switches over to be multi-plat. So that's where my mind is at with it. I'm glad more people get to play it because more people deserve to play it. And the franchise deserves more people playing it. So yeah, I'm all for it.
This is one I've been asking for a while to go to PS5 on this very show. There are clips of me saying, why is it not over there already? Like, I never understood the logic in holding this one back because this never fell into the category of, hey, it's a new IP or like this will draw people to the platform. Like Hellblade 1, well, it sold millions of copies and had millions more players through Game Pass once it came there. But like Hellblade 2 was never going to be a monumental zeitgeist thing, right? Like it wasn't going to be an Elden Ring where it's like, oh, I gotta go buy an Xbox just to play Hellblade 2. It's not that type of game. So I've been asking for this for a while. I'm glad to see it finally happening. I don't know how much people actually care though, because there is some negative stigma, I would say, around Hellblade 2, where you have the comments already on their posts. It's like, why would I want a 4-hour movie, right? Like just a lot of negativity. People don't seem very excited. I'll be interested to know, like we see all the data coming out, like Forza Horizon 5 killing it on PlayStation. What is it? Elder Scrolls Oblivion is the best-selling game, right? Like we're seeing Xbox have a lot of success currently. I really wonder if Hellblade 2 even gets anywhere in the conversation of like top 20 for the month this comes out.
I think it's hard to say. I could easily see it being in the top 20. I do not think it cracks top 10 on the PlayStation charts. I think this is more so. I think Hellblade 2 was a victim of Xbox changing its strategy whenever there wasn't like a big console
Mhm.
restoration at the beginning of the generation where people started flooding back to it after having dipped from PlayStation, and now they're trying Game Pass or whatever. Um, so I think it was a victim of like, hey, we should still have exclusives, but like, let's have a meeting next week about not having exclusives. And then Hellblade was just kind of left out in the cold. Um, so that's where my mind is at with it. I think that I mean, this is the way that I feel about all these Xbox games coming over. You will never have more people on Xbox playing Hellblade 2 than you do right now. So therefore, porting it over to PlayStation is going to net you
Mhm.
minimally a couple 100,000 people that are probably going to jump in and see what's new because they enjoyed the first game, however long it's been, 8 years ago or whatever, since Hellblade.
Yeah.
Um, so like that's where my mind is at. It will never hurt to have more people playing, especially if it was relatively easy to port. But yeah, the question comes down to like how many people, and I don't know if it cracks the top 20. I could go both ways, flip of the coin.
I want to know what these new features that they're touting. I assume it'll have DualSense support, right? It'll probably
Yep.
be PS5 Pro enhanced. I wonder if that means 60 FPS mode, whether that's like exclusive to the Pro or we get that on Xbox, PC,
Mm-hmm.
because that was like a big thing. I know a lot of people had problems with the black
The
bars.
letterboxing,
Yeah,
yeah.
letterboxing. That's what it's called. I wonder if they like make it more customizable like that. I wonder if they add any sort of gameplay improvements or anything like that to try to get people to jump back in. Like, hey, we tweak the combat a little. I'm not expecting any of that. Like some of the minor stuff, perhaps, but it will be interested to see like when they start detailing what does the enhanced part of this actually mean.
Yeah, and the interesting thing too is all those features, like they said, there are going to be features that are cross, like they land on Xbox the same day. So I'm trying to think of things like obviously you'll have your haptic feedback and all that. Like I'm sure whenever Senua is being whispered to, like you'll feel it in the dual sense or
Hmm.
something. Like there's going to be something integrated there. But for Xbox, I know like the letterboxing you could turn off, but I would, whenever you turned off the letterboxing, it just like cropped it in to where the field of view was super tight. So it went from like having 100-degree to 60-degree, or whatever the actual numbers are. So I will definitely be interested to see what they bring over. I would imagine maybe the 60 FPS mode, if it wasn't already there, which I don't believe that it was on Xbox, that'll
No, it's
be
not.
something they probably introduce. But beyond that, I would imagine a lot of the features you're going to be seeing are probably things that are PlayStation exclusive features that they're trying to incentivize people to come try.
So I want to bring up, so we have some questions about this, but Freight Conductor, shout out Freight Conductor in the chat, has a good comment over here. He said they should have saved these announcements for a Sony State of Play or showcase. Could you imagine if half the games announced for Xbox, both fan bases would melt down online? So I want to take what he just said and kind of twist it in. Why aren't we saving these things for State of Plays? Like I feel like they might be a bigger deal than Gears of War showing up at a State of Play would probably be a bigger deal than just the tweet they got, right? Like, I don't know about
Yeah.
Hellblade, but I feel like there is an opportunity to market these things to the PlayStation audience better than they're doing. I wonder, because we haven't seen any Switch 2 ports announced yet. I wonder if Nintendo is like, we'll put those in directs. Like, don't tweet. We'll save them for our directs. That's how we like to do it.
Yeah, I think Nintendo's in a unique spot because they're not like I don't see them as a direct competitor to Sony and Xbox. Like they're doing their own thing over here in left field. I think that it, I think these independent announcements benefit both companies because if you have Xbox showing up at a PlayStation event, then you have the even more talk online of they've lost, they're giving up, they're throwing in the towel, they're now just a third party platform. Them making the announcement and then PlayStation following it up and being like, yeah, look, you can play that there. You'll still have that, but it feels more so like it's on Xbox to make those decisions. Flip that, have Gears of War at a PlayStation State of Play. Then you've got the other people that are saying, well, why wouldn't I just buy an Xbox with Game Pass? PlayStation has no games.
Hmm.
They're bringing Xbox games to PlayStation. So it's like you can't really win no matter who you really are. Like PlayStation definitely has the upper hand in terms of the online narrative. They always have and they probably always will. But the optics can be bad both ways. So having two independent announcements, I think is probably beneficial for both. The question is, they got to have something monumental at this upcoming showcase
I hope so.
if they're continuing on, because it's like they've dropped Forza on PlayStation randomly, they've dropped Gears on PlayStation announcement randomly, Hellblade is coming to PlayStation, random announcement on a
Mhm.
Thursday afternoon or whatever, Wednesday. there's got to be something where it's like, oh, this is the thing. And I mean, I've seen tons of rumors flying around about like a Call of Duty launcher with all the old Call of Duties potentially coming together in one, like stuff like that that people would get excited about, like a nostalgia pack. But there's got to be like a ton of stuff on the way. I mean, there's so many projects floating around out there we could talk all night about, but it's got to be something big they're planning if they're kind of like getting all of this out there ahead of it.
Alpaca Tom says Elder Scrolls 6 question mark? No.
No, that's going to be I think that's a next gen launch game, maybe.
Yeah, if we're lucky.
Yeah.
That's
Which that would be absolutely wild if you had a new piece of hardware launching, like a new generation with an Elder Scrolls game. That'd be sick.
Unfortunately, the PS6 would also be launching with this,
hey,
so
that's fine.
Wouldn't help them
saying,
much. You know,
a hype level would be through the roof.
Oh,
if it said,
yeah.
Hey, new consoles, very powerful, and you get a new Elder Scrolls. That would be sick.
For sure. Ghostly Guides writes in, says, rather than wait to port its games and have its studio spend time making enhancements for PS5 Pro, should Xbox just go day and date everywhere so its studios can move on to their next projects faster?
I think they should do whatever it takes to get it done the right way the first time. So like if it takes additional time, then do those next gen enhancements, and I think that's fine. But ideally, I think going forward, it would be hey, here it is. You can play it everywhere, and it's got the enhancements you want where you need them, and then they continue on with updates or DLC, and then move on to the next thing. So I think it's a blend of both. I think they've just got to shore up that it's ready to go. My other thing with that is too, like, there's something to be said about having an update later on that can act as another marketing beat where there wouldn't naturally be one. So it's like Red Dead coming to the Nintendo Switch and randomly getting like, I think a PlayStation 4 upgrade or whatever happened last year. Why are we talking about Red Dead 1 in 2024? Because they got an update and it came out on Switch and like, here it is. Look at that. They could have done that probably way sooner, but here it is, still living and kicking 15 years, 14 years later, whatever it was. So that's kind of the way that I see it. I think there are benefits to both approaches.
I think we'll eventually get to the point where majority of Xbox games are day and date across every platform. If you know, at least PlayStation, Xbox, if not Switch as well. I think what we're seeing currently is hey, we started developing these when Xbox had the strategy of we're going hard on exclusives this gen, and then they're like, actually, we need to make back the $89 billion we just spent, and no one's buying our boxes, so we're gonna put everything everywhere. So why don't you start working on them ports? So I do think it is they bad timing for them certainly, but I expect it day and date will become the norm at some point, but the priority should always be Xbox and PC first. Like you're an Xbox studio. If the PlayStation has to come out a month later or whatever, like a year later, whatever it takes, get the Xbox and PC versions out. Those are your primary targets, I would say.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think that they've got like in the future, they've got to get the money. You know what I mean? Like get that bag.
So if the option is though, like they're like, okay, hey, PS5 version's ready. We need more time on the Xbox version. Are you saying that you'd be okay with them being like, hey, Xbox, you'll get it later. We're going to do PC, PS5 right now?
No.
Okay.
I think that it should be. First off, let's assume that dates haven't been announced. So like Perfect Dark, let's just say that was originally going to be launching as an Xbox exclusive and come to PlayStation later on. And let's say behind the scenes, they were like, you know what? We got Doom, we've got Call of Duty, we've got, whatever. Let's just hold that for 2026 and make it launch everywhere day and date. Same thing.
I assume it'll be day and date.
Yeah. So like same thing could be said with Gears, where it's like, we've heard about that for years. Maybe that's what they were doing. And they went ahead and did the port, made it day and date. So I think it works for the things that haven't been announced. If there are dates, by God, don't delay it to like make everything have parity for the, I definitely think that the things that like Xbox and PC should always be a part of the conversation and be a priority, but no less than PlayStation in this new way they're working going forward, I think.
No, so maybe I worded it wrong. I think that if they're like, hey, we have a date, and then as they approach that date, they're like, hey, the PS5 version is going to need a little more time. We're still going to release Xbox PC as the scheduled date. PS5 will get it in a few weeks or something.
Oh, yeah, I think that's fine. We haven't had that situation.
No,
yet.
We haven't, and I doubt we will.
Yeah, I think it'll be fine, but they should definitely. I don't think there should ever be a situation. Well, plus, if they did that, I think it would just be a hey, we need a few more weeks, and then they would just hold everything. I don't think we would hear the like sausage making. I think they would just delay it.
Probably. Sam Heaney with our last question on this topic says, with Hellblade 2 launching on PS5 this summer, a little over a year after launch, would you expect the same to be true for the last remnant, quote unquote, exclusives like Avowed, South of Midnight, etc.? With how rapidly these ports have been announced and released just in the first half of this year, are you expecting the latter half of 2025 to have just as many legacy ports, or do you expect it to slow down and be more about day and date gaming going forward?
I think that Avowed will get a PS5 port whenever there's a DLC, a significant DLC drop. So you can say, hey, look at this new story content. And then they've also released that roadmap of like all the improvements for the rest of the year they're doing with like New Game Plus and things like that. So that's what I think for Avowed. I think it's going to be handled on a case-by-case basis, but I do think you're going to start seeing these kind of at the clip you're getting them now of, hey, this is happening now, this is happening then, this is going to be happening in October, whatever it might look like. And along the way, you'll get stuff like the Warhammer announcement we saw today that like I really, really, really think they are trying to incentivize Game Pass more and more by saying, hey, we will gladly take your cash. However, you can also pay for this thing and get access to basically every game you would want to play this year. Quite literally, like we are the place you go if you want to spend $20 a month and just get everything. And I think personally, I think Game Pass is more compelling than ever if you're somebody who doesn't really want to own that license to the game. I think that is, I think they've done a great job of kind of like putting hey, you could have this or you could do this over here and you can do both, but whatever. I think it's poised very well right now.
Yeah, so I've been saying like I felt Game Pass kind of was in a lull from like July last year, probably until Indy launched, and then I feel like since Indiana Jones came out in December, this year has been rapid fire. Like we're getting great games most
crazy
weeks. Like April especially was probably the best month maybe in Game Pass history. June is already pretty stacked, and now even more stacked, as you mentioned with that Warhammer remaster, where I'm sitting here, I'm like, my Game Pass just expired. Like I was sitting here like, okay, FBC Firebreak's also on PS Plus. I'm gonna play it over there, so I don't have to resub. Rematch is a game I'm interested in, but I got some Microsoft money. I'll just probably pick that up. And now I'm sitting there like, oh, I want to play Warhammer again. I want to play the remastered version. Like this is how they get you. All right, they make it enticing.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I've said it for 2 years on this show, but it's like I will spend more than $20 a month on any given month to play a game that's coming out. So like I might as well just spend the $20 and like my fiance can play Monster Train 2. I can continue playing Clair Obscur. I'll play Warhammer next month and need to play Oblivion. You got all this stuff that's coming out. I mean, it's wild the amount of value that it really begs. #ad. But like, 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 I mean, it's just crazy.
Oh, yeah, the Altars. Freight Conductor points out the Altars as well. It's a game that's got a lot of buzz. I don't know if that's a Kevin game, but it looks interesting.
I've got my eyes on it. It is, the writing is very funny. I really enjoy the trailers where it's like all the different versions of the guy, but stuff like that where it's just super unique, super interesting way to do stuff. I mean, Ninja Gaiden 4 is on the way. Like that looks sick.
That's one I'm like, my current strategy is like, if it's something me and my brother both want to play, I'll sub to the Ultimate, and then because we game share, we can both play. If it's just me, I'm going PC Game Pass. Like my PC's decent enough. I'm like, I can play it a good frame rate, good 1080p is fine. So I'm like, Ninja Gaiden 4 might be a PC game for me,
Yeah, I mean, that's totally valid. And then also we've got the handheld coming out eventually. That's basically all but been announced, and you've got way more stuff on the way. So I think that once again, they don't care where you're playing as long as you're playing, and PC Game Pass is going to make them money just like regular Game Pass, and it'll save you a couple of bucks along the way too.
You playing Warhammer for the third time?
I am playing Warhammer for the third time because my friend was like, "Oh, I'm halfway through the original version," and I said, "Brother, it's only 5 hours long. Like, just start over."
What'd you just start today?
I've played this game twice, and I think I played 12 hours of Warhammer 1. Like, it's literally not that bad. So yes, I will be playing again because I love Warhammer. It's great.
Yeah, interesting one about that. I haven't even answered Sam's question. Sam, to answer your question, yes, I wouldn't be surprised if South of Midnight and Avowed came to PC like end of the year by the end of the year. To
I
be
think
honest,
South
like
of Midnight should be a before the end of the summer. Like,
I agree.
get
South of
that
Midnight,
rolling.
that's a smaller game, probably doesn't require as much work to get it. Or like, just get it on over there. But
Yeah.
I saw people talking about Warhammer. They're like, "Oh, do you think that like if you already own it on PC, you'll just get like a free upgrade to the?" I'm like, "No, no, you won't. They're gonna sell this, but also no PS5 version of that game."
That is super weird.
And I'm like, what's going on here? I saw people, oh, they got an Xbox deal. I'm like, it's got to be something to do with like the backwards compatibility of this game or something.
Yeah, that is a super odd decision there. I did not know that it didn't have a PS5 version until now. But yeah, I think that going back to South of Midnight, I think that's one of those games where I could easily see that going multiplat with a Switch 2 announcement round. Like that could be one that I think would fit really well in a showcase of it feels like a good Switch 2 game that could take advantage of that hardware. And then it also comes to PS5 that same day, whatever that might be.
South of Midnight at a Nintendo Direct next month would be dope.
Like that feels right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I could easily see that being the case.
Yeah. Frankenductor put South of Midnight when Sinners comes to home release. Good shout. Because if you haven't seen Sinners, great movie, but also kind of ties into the lore of South of Midnight.
Interesting. I also see Nissa's comment. I think South of Midnight's going to take time because they're a smaller dev team. I thought that, see, I have my font really small and I thought that said Scorn. And I was like, the gross horror game? Because did that ever go multi-plat? I don't remember.
Yeah, I think it's that came to PS5.
Okay, because that would be, man, okay, yeah, it's on PS5. It's $40. That's a gross game. I really don't like that game.
I didn't play it.
Not good, in my opinion. It's sitting at 5 stars. Must be a hot take, but did not like it. So I just wanted to call that out, but yeah, valid.
If you ever are like, I need a good laugh, just go read reviews on any platform, really, and they crack me up, man. Especially, I'll give you a good shout. Go read the Steam reviews for Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League. My God, I could sit there for hours and just cry laughing.
I think I made 10 videos on reviews for Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League over the past 2 years. man. Rocksteady just I'm so sorry. It's so bad.
Probably my favorite review I read, and then we'll go to the next story, was I asked Steam for a refund and spent it on fentanyl.
People are wild, man.
Christ.
People are crazy.
All right, well, let's go to story number 2. Because we got a big new Xbox Game Pass feature, Retro Classics. So Xbox announced some big news for their May update, introducing Retro Classics for Game Pass members. Full info is over on the Xbox Wire, but they state, we're thrilled to announce the launch of Retro Classics, a collaboration between Xbox and Antstream Arcade, available to play for Game Pass members globally. Starting today, members can dive into a collection of 50-plus classic Activision games from the 80s and 90s, including titles like Commando, Grand Prix, Kaboom, MechWarrior 2, and Pitfall. Game Pass members can expect a seamless gaming experience across console, PC, and other devices through cloud gaming. You said you've been playing this a little bit, Sam. I assume it was more curiosity as opposed to, man, I've been really waiting to play Kaboom. But how's the experience been so far? I haven't jumped in, but this is obviously, I saw people, big deal, tons of games just randomly getting added to the service. That's huge.
Yeah, it's going to be a really interesting one. So the way that it works, and I have no idea, I did not play Antstream before this, but they're a service that's been well known, and it seems like they're just doing this deeper integration with Xbox, specifically with Activision now being a part of the family. Like it's really getting into that back catalog. It is super interesting because you boot it up and it's got like an in-game leaderboard system, weekly challenges. Like it's not just your like an Atari collection or something. Like it is kind of like a living, breathing, hey, you really like that retro games, let's get in here and get you like rewards points. You can unlock different collectible, I guess they're emblems, where it's like old 360, old Xbox One stuff. There's an achievements list as well. But it's really, really interesting because it's very snackable. And that's why I dove in, because like I've had like 12, 13-hour days recently. And I was like, I don't have the capacity for Expedition 33 right now. So I just need to like do something basic. And so I started doing a couple of levels in that. And I really enjoyed the experience. Again, I think it's going to be very cool to grab the Backbone in the phone and play it
Mhm.
whenever I'm, chilling on the couch or out somewhere or whatever, then come back home, pick it back up, play it on the big screen, do it on desktop as well. Just a really cool way to experience older games. I am curious though, because I feel like these projects are like fun in theory, and then everybody plays each game for 5 minutes and then goes back to what they were doing previously.
Yep.
So that's kind of where I'm at. Like, it's cool, but also I probably not going to put 100 hours into Pitfall in the year of our Lord 2025. So I guess it's more of like an archival thing for me, where I'm glad these are more widely available on modern hardware. And I think that
Mhm.
probably plays into Sarah Bond's idea of backward compatibility and bringing games forward and cataloging appropriately.
Yeah, they even stressed in the Xbox Wire post that this is about Xbox's commitment to, game preservation and
Yeah.
having these games available. So from that perspective, I think this is an awesome feature to add, especially for makes your Game Pass more valuable. Like if you care about these things, like it is another feature added to your subscription service. I do fall along the lines of you though, where most people aren't going to check these out, like, and if they do, they're going to realize, oh wow, games in the 80s and 90s really not that good.
No.
Like they don't hold up. I'm not going to say here play through the entirety of this game, right? But for like nostalgia and just a little fun curiosity, neat feature to have for sure.
Yeah, I'll back at Tom said retro arcade gonna cause raise prices on Game Pass. I think we're all right. If we can stomach a Call of Duty, I think that Ant Stream is going to be all right with their $2 million or whatever deal they got to build this thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's probably the windfall that they needed more than anything,
Hmm.
because I know that they're a small team that's kind of been working on this over the years. Luke interviewed them a couple of years ago. I
Yep.
know.
Yeah, that's how I'm familiar with them.
Yeah, that's
Luke.
how I'm familiar with them as well. So it was cool to see them kind of like, oh, you're still there, doing stuff, doing cool things, neat. So I'm glad to see them get the spotlight.
Absolutely. Well, why don't we continue through this Xbox May update, because Xbox PC players will soon have access to Microsoft Edge Game Assist, the first in-game browser built specifically for players. Game Assist brings players a full browser of tips, walkthroughs, and more via the Xbox Game Bar. And Xbox PC players can now choose to stream their games through GeForce Now or continue to use Xbox Cloud Gaming when streaming. So two new Xbox PC features, which seems to be their wording now. They're all in on Xbox PC as the branding for their Xbox for the PC side of the business here, which I'm fine with. I think it's much better than our app for PC or whatever they were
Yeah.
calling it before. I'm probably not going to use the Edge Game Assist because if I'm gaming on PC, I got an extra screen here. Like I can just pull up a guide, right? Like I don't need to pull up your AI chat bot and like ask it questions. The streaming through GeForce Now, great to see that integration into the app itself. This is something you've had to go to like their website and use, but I know they also updated the game bar recently, which I still don't like the game bar in general, but they're making improvements. They're making the PC experience better and better. So I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, I think that for me, it's like, if I'm stuck in a game, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna grab my phone and I'm gonna Google it, and I'm gonna look a YouTube video, and then I'm gonna hold the little side of the screen so it goes fast, and that's how I'm gonna figure out what I need to do. Um, but I would assume this is a more economical solution than what PlayStation did of like building in an entire help station into the UI for a PlayStation 5.
Hey, I use those to find bots in Astrobot. Okay.
I mean, that's valid, but could have Googled it, just saying. Yeah. So, I mean, it's cool that they're building this out. I don't know, man. I never use Game Bar. Like I might take a screenshot. Like that's what I use it for.
Mm-hmm.
And beyond that, like I just don't get in there a lot. So, I do think it's important to continue honing these like tools because of the incoming handhelds and the integrations there. But beyond that, I'm just kind of like, who are you building Microsoft Edge Game Assist for? I don't know. The GeForce Now stuff is cool. Like let people play where they want, I think is the mantra of the day. And so if it's on a Samsung TV, go for it. If it's on GeForce Now, go for it. Cloud gaming, play.xbox.com, whatever you want, go for it. So yeah, the more the merrier.
Yep, for sure. Well, let's transition to our third story here, and it's the Game Pass update for the end of May. We got lots of games now available. So, starting yesterday, you could play Monster Train 2 for cloud, PC, and Xbox Series if you're at the Ultimate or PC tier. You have Creatures of Ava and Stalker 2 at the Game Pass standard tier. Tales of Kenzero Zao for cloud,
I hate
PC.
it when you have to do
Yeah,
this.
I know. Tales of Kenzero Zao for cloud, PC, and Xbox Series consoles at the Ultimate PC tier. May 27th, you get Tom Clancy's The Division 2 for cloud, console, PC, at every tier. May 28th, you get To a T for cloud, PC, and Xbox Series at the Ultimate PC tier. May 29th, you get Metaphor Refantasio, or as you like to call it,
Yeah, Civilly Refinaglio. Glad to see you.
for cloud, PC, and Xbox Series X and S at all tiers. You also get Spray Paint Simulator for cloud, PC, and Xbox Series at the Ultimate PC tier. June 3rd, you get Crypt Custodian for cloud, console, PC at all tiers, and Symphonia for cloud, console, PC at all tiers. Any game here piquing your interest? I know we were just talking about June being a very good month coming up already. They kind of ending strong here.
Yeah, no, it feels good. I think that for me, the cool call out is Metaphor. Like that's neat to see land because that was like a game of the year contender last year for a lot of people. Will I play it? No, but I'm glad to see it. I'm glad to see it on the service. I think for me, the more interesting one is Tom Clancy's The Division 2. I never played The Division 2. I enjoyed The Division 1 a good bit.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, and so that's one that I kind of want to get back to. I also got a code for the Brooklyn DLC that's coming out, so this is clearly time to be able to say, you wanna head back? We got new stuff, and that might get me in there. So yeah, I think The Division 2 is the standout for me. Also, shout out Tales of Kenzero Zao. Like that's cool. I've always wanted to kind of check that one out. That might be something that I scratch the itch for. Feels like a good cloud backbone little game there. So those are the call outs for me.
Yeah, obviously Metaphor I absolutely loved. Was it my game of the year last year? Might have been my game of the year last year. Maybe. I don't remember what my game of the year was last year, to be honest with you. You have to go check our episode. But one of my games of the year, certainly top 5. I absolutely love that game. Check that out if you haven't. The fact it's coming to all tiers is phenomenal. I also thought Creatures of Ava, it's coming to the standard tier, but I also thought that was a pretty good game. I reviewed that one for the channel here, and I enjoyed my time with it. The Division 2, I don't like as much as the Division 1, personally. I bought it on launch and fell off it pretty quick. It kind of went a Destiny 2 route for me, where I like Destiny 1 better than Destiny 2. I know that's how it take. And then I've heard good things about Crypt Custodian, but not a huge end of the month for me personally, just because I've played a lot of these games.
Yeah, I think that for me, I also agree with you that Destiny 1 was better than Destiny 2.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and then Creatures of Ava, that was that weird, like, kind of Pokemon thing looking situation where it was like monsters in the world and they were just wandering around. Yeah, I remember this one.
Yeah. You play as like a researcher who goes down to a planet and you have to like tame the monsters to like rescue them. And like some of them are corrupted by like this evil goo.
Slime Rancher. Yes, I'm familiar.
Yeah. That's exactly. Is that the plot of Slime Rancher? Wow. Okay.
I don't know. Slime Rancher, fun game though. By the way, I really enjoy Slime Rancher.
Never played it. Well, let's end with our last news story here. Short one. Bit of sad news. Avowed director Carrie Patel has left Obsidian. Carrie Patel was the director behind Avowed and the Outer Worlds DLC. She has now left Obsidian for Netflix Games. Patel confirmed the news on LinkedIn, stating she was leaving after nearly 12 years to go work in Night School as a game director. Night School is currently known for Oxenfree and Oxenfree 2. Just little, I don't have much to say, just a little bit sad to see a talented developer leave. I thought Avowed was good, not great. I think the Outer Worlds is fantastic, especially the DLC, absolutely phenomenal, which she directed. So it sucks to see her leaving, especially going to Netflix Games, which, listen, I'm just gonna say it. What are you doing over there? Like, that's a money. You're going for money, right? Like, you're not going over there for like, oh, I really want to make some Netflix games. Like, come on.
No, I mean, the way that I see it. So like whenever Joseph Staten left 343 and went over and like started leading a team that has now been shut down in Netflix Games to like incubate their next project, Oh, y'all are retiring. Okay. I see like you are getting a fat stack and you are heading over there and you are making sure that check clears and you're doing whatever. And that's not me like you do what you got to do. The games industry is wild right now. It's like if you can go get a huge payday and do whatever Netflix wants you to do until they inevitably just pivot back to like House of Cards or whatever, like go for it. Like you do what you need to do. But I think for me, it's just like what has come out of the project of Netflix games. Like I know that they've acquired Night School, which Oxenfree and Oxenfree 2 are games that I haven't played, but I know they're well-renowned indies. But it's just like I just don't know where they're going with that unless you are quite literally publishing games based on your IP. And at that point, like how'd Rebel Moon go, brother? You know, like what do I just feel like this has not been well thought through, and they're like, yes, games equals money. Let's get everyone here, and that's where they're at. So I'm definitely not like again throwing stones because like Carrie Patel get your check, and I really loved Avowed. I thought it was a great game, and clearly there's a lot of talent there, but I have no idea what they're doing other than giving out money to work on something.
I this won't make sense to. I'm sure there's an analogy for maybe like basketball or something, but in soccer, it's kind of like when players were going to China because of the Chinese league was like, "Oh, we'll give you 600,000 a week," and they're like, "Sign me up." That sounds great.
Like David Beckham going to some place in Florida where he's just like randomly there, and he's like, "Yeah, this is enough money for me to leave. I'm good."
Yeah. So Saudi Arabia is doing it right now, where they're just like, "We'll give you millions of dollars. You have to live here, and we don't treat people all great, but millions." And they're like, "Okay." Yeah, I can look past all that. That's kind of how I feel about Netflix games. Netflix games, Saudi Arabia, but with human rights.
Yeah, I saw. I was like, "Huh, what about Joe Staten's doing now? Like,
what is he doing?
Voice of the Grunt, you know, like huge Halo guy." And I knew he went to Netflix and they shut down his thing. He's posting videos of him like walking through nature, like he's just out there. He has gotten paid. He is good. He's like, look at this rock, and he's just like nature it's like a mountainside blogger. Yeah, so he is living his best life. Good for him, you know.
Or he's incredibly depressed.
But maybe both. I don't know, but that's what I saw.
Yeah. Well, Carrie Patel, wish you all the best. We'll see what happens. Who steps up over at a city, and they're gonna be just fine. Let me tell you, they got the Outer Worlds 2 coming out, and probably another game next year, knowing them because they don't stop making games. But all right. Well, that will do. Oh wait, no, we have one last question. Sorry, comes from Alpaca Tom. He says, "Is Randy Pitchford a marketing genius?"
Randy, what are we doing, Randy? Got a haircut. I know we talked about that. He now has a new haircut. We don't have the flowing locks anymore. Every time I look at him, I just see handsome Jack. And yeah, I just don't know why you would go out and be like, real fans would give me all their money. Yeah, like it's just an odd thing to say. I haven't made a video on it because I don't really like. I don't have any. I don't.
You don't feel like fighting with Ray. He'll respond to you.
Yeah, like I don't want the heat, but also like he's not wrong, but also why are you saying the quiet part out loud? Like you didn't have to do this. Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, it was for anyone that doesn't know, someone told him on Twitter, "Hey, please don't make Borderlands 4 $80." And he basically was like, "Well, if you're a real fan, you'll find the money." I'm like, "Okay, Randy."
Which like, don't get me wrong.
Sentiment behind it, totally get it. Yeah, like if I'm a real fan of something, like I probably will find. I found the money for a Switch too. All right, you get it. I understand the point he was trying to make, but it comes across as him being like, "Well, maybe Borderlands 4 ain't for the poors," you know?
Yeah, it was just horribly articulated, and it's not the first time that he's done this this year, in 5 years.
This week.
Like he just continually steps in unintentionally to the point that like I almost feel bad for him because I feel like he's probably just like an overly charismatic, really bubbly guy that just is trying to like make his way. But dude, get a PR person.
Did you
like
see him fight with Devolver?
I did not see him. I'm not on Twitter, so I don't know what's going on. But
was it Devolver? I think Devolver made a joke about how you could buy their new game.
I saw that
Myco Punk like 4 times or something for the cost of Borderlands 4, and then he responded like, "Oh, you could also like get meth or something instead, less side effects." And so they put it on the box. They put like his quote on the box.
Oh my god, it's so bad.
Devolver's great. Love Devolver. Good stuff. Yeah, no, Randy is something. But that'll do it for Project XTalk this week, guys. Sam, thank you for joining me as always. We'll never know where they can find you, my friend.
Sorry, I just Googled Randy Pitchford USB stick.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I was looking on Twitter and I just went down a rabbit hole. That's wild. What? You can find me at JamPackSam.com. And I got a lot of content to make coming up. I got a lot of cool stuff showing and a whole lot of work to do. I'm very tired. I apologize, but I'm just sorry. I'm flabbergasted at what my screen revealed to me.
Have you not heard about the USB story before?
I feel like that's like one of those things where like it's
that's
a pipe
like
dream in
way
my mind.
old. Yeah.
And so like I just kind of like reestablished that memory, and that's a wild one. So but yeah, JamPackSam.com. Find me there. No USB sticks involved.
You can find me at the Muffin Mon everywhere. It's a 1-7I, 0-7A. Follow us at Save the Game Media over on Blue Sky to stay up to date with all of our latest content. Until next week, we'll see you. Goodbye.